why does the government enjoy making its people's lives so much harder than what it already is? This system is against us. It's for our failure. It's for our detriment. Make it make sense why everything in society that society tries to do, y'all as a system make it difficult. All these different standards and codes, I can't do this without that. You know well that you can make this person at hand's life so much easier by just letting them do what they got to do. But no, you buy the codes and the statutes. This must say exactly this, or this don't match up to this, so you can't get your license. You can't live here because you have to have this and this and this and this. You can't get this car because you got to have this and credit this. It's like the world is set up for the people's downfall, and the people is who make the rich rich. Make it make sense why the world is against the people that help build it. The rich just keep getting rich and the poor can't even get in the door. And if it rhymes, then it's true. You bought a house? Cool. Guess what? You still don't own it. You don't pay your property tax. They're going to take that too. You want to build a shed on your yard that you bought. You got to go get a permit. And if you don't get a permit, they're going to come through and shut your whole shit up. Give you a big fine. If you got to get this, you got to get a permit or a fine to sell lemonade on the side of the street, or they're going to hit you with it. It's like man has found a way to stamp and monetize a price on everything that was God given. Water, food, fishing, hunting, drinking, camping, sitting, parking, breathing, shitting. It don't make no sense.
Shalom. First thing and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor that is due to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone and rule well. Peace and blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. News in the gospel abroad, lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is another quick lesson through the Spirit. Lord's will to be edifying. Seeing Jake basically crashing out over having to be subject to payments. Well, welcome to the land of free, my boy. Like they call America the land of free and the home of the brave, which technically you're not free. Because if you're free, why the hell I got to apply for a passport to literally get out of the country? I can't be behind on any substantial debt. You can't have a child support debt over a certain degree if you want to apply for a passport. You know what I'm saying? Or if you got a felony, I don't think you can. I mean, I think you can, but I think there's ways around it. But even then, you're stuck. So this is not a free society, and this is a what they call the oligarchs, which basically is your elite, which distribute wealth to the rich and keep the poor. Like I was speaking to the brother yesterday, I'm like, how the fuck does 1% of the people own 99% of the wealth here? And the average person is literally barely getting by, and wonder why they haven't overthrown the society yet. It's kind of mind-boggling at this point, because you dummies have opted into foreign treaties and private banks governing your everyday marital affairs and just your everyday living, from living to owning shit, whether it be home, property, land, vehicles, you know what I'm saying? Food, farms. You can't own a goddamn thing because you people have allowed corporations and you've allowed oligarchs, private institutions, banks to govern your life. And that all started when they sold you out by establishing what they called the Federal Reserve back in 1913, which was basically it's a private bank. Okay, like I think one of the Rothschilds mentioned, give me control of the nation's money and I care not who write his law. So ever since then, I think you may have had FDR. I think he was getting ready to serve a fourth term. Franklin Delano Roosevelt, which basically was trying to redistribute wealth back to the common people because he grown up rich anyway. But even then, among these different administrations, they've been slowly chipping away at your ability to purchase anything and to own anything. And this is where you're at today. Okay, so I looked up the word feudalism, and it says the dominant social system in medieval Europe in which the nobility had lands from the crown in exchange for military service, and vassals were turned tenants of the nobles, which a tenant, if you a tenant of something, meaning that you are pretty much a person that's like renting, like the tenants, you renting out. So meaning you're basically like a slave. All right. It says here to the peasants, tenants, or the nobles, while the peasants, villeins, or serfs were obligated to live on their lord's land and give them homage, labor, and share of the produce nationally in exchange for military protection. Hence, you are today, because your own military don't even protect you. Instead, you got a bunch of police officers that run around here getting rich off your tax dollars. Well, the police department itself, not that the average cop is rich, but basically they're set up on your incentive to just harass people all fucking day, which the police force should never exist anyway. That's a private police force from the elites, and that's totally illegal. Okay, you're supposed to have sheriff and deputies. That's it. You're not supposed to have a police force. That's wicked as hell. And they don't even follow the Constitution. Half of them don't even know it. So, yeah, man, Jake is wondering why, but hey, because you're ignorant, you know? But anyway, this is the book of Baruch 3, and I'm going to start at verses, let's start at verses 7. It says, "And for this cause thou hast put thy fear in our hearts, to the intent that we should call upon thy name and to praise thee in our captivity." So we're in captivity. Us as Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, the Hebrew Israelites, we're in the land of our captivity, you see, to be subject to payments. This is why you have child support and all this other fucking bullshit that they slump on you, man. Illegally, by the way. And it says, "Praise thee in our captivity, for we have called to mind all the iniquity of our forefathers that sinned before thee. But behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse." So ultimately is a curse. Because ain't no way in hell you live in an apartment when you are set up to be sovereign. Okay, have your own land, you know, have your own stalls or whatever you want to call it, you know, have your own economy going, your own family, your own business, which creates generational wealth. And then you've been subjected into being put on a grid. Now you're paying $1,500 a month to $2,000 a month to live in a fucking cardboard box while the person that you're renting from is getting rich and you're just making it barely. And eventually you're going to lose the ability to pay that because as time progresses, they're going to take more money and incentives from you people. All right. And it says here, "Reproach and a curse to be subject to payments according to all the iniquities of our forefathers or our fathers which departed from the Lord Yahweh. So hear, Israel, the commandment of life, and give ear to understand wisdom." Okay, so you have to understand these things. This is the land of our captivity. It says, "How happened in Israel that thou art in thy enemy's land, and thou art waxing old in a strange country, that thou art defiled with the dead." All right, and the dead is these heathens, man. Okay, even heathens can come over here and make a better living than you can. You know, like Moab come up here and they open up a cheap ass massage parlor and they charge you 50, 60, 70, 80 bucks for them dinky ass massages. They don't give you none extra. Hell, they charge you an extra $15 to put the hot coals on you, and then they expect a tip from you. And then when you go to Jake taxes you anyway. I would never eat, and I hate to say this, man. I will never, and I hate to say this because I will actually, you know, like to support our people, but I rarely or ever eat at a fucking Jake-owned business because Jake is worse than the heathen. Here, Jake could sell you a hamburger and some fries for $20, but you can go up the street and get it for $10. It's like, nigga, why you selling them more? Well, you know, no, bro. What are you doing? You know, and then again, you got Jakes that think they supposed to cut deals for their people too. You know, Jake got to live as well, but Jake just overdo it. Jake is known for charging usually on his own people. Like the menu is just overpriced for nothing because he wants to be a nigga. And the crazy part about it is, it be some bullshit. It be that white flour with bleach, you know what I'm saying, sugar, all types of shit, man. Niggas selling you Kool-Aid out of a fucking paper cup and trying to charge you $15 for that shit. Like, nah, nigga, no thanks. You can have that. This is wild, man. It's, you fucked either way. Let's go to the book of Haggai. Haggai 1. And I'm going to start at verses 2. And it says, "Thus says the Lord of hosts, saying, the people say, the time has not come, the time that the Lord's house should be built," which was the temple, right? It says, "Then came the word of the Lord by Haggai the prophet, saying, It is time for you, O ye, to dwell in your sizzled houses, and this house is laid waste." All right, because you know you got Jake, even in the community of Israelite community, that's wealthy, you know, and that's received a consolation like this nigga Hakah. He posts his 3 wives. Why would you post your 3 wives, bro? You know what I'm saying? Just shit like that. And this nigga Alazar had 6 wives. But that show you that they got their consolation, because a brother in the truth, let a brother, Great Millstone, tell his wife, "Oh, I got another wife." Man, she'll burn him down in the house. She'll burn the house down with him in it. But a wicked nigga is allowed to have more than one wife. because, you know, the wickedness, because women are wicked any fucking way. You know what I'm saying? But when there's a bunch of scandals going on and a bunch of scheming behind the door, the woman don't care as long as she's getting taken care of. You know, but they received their consolation. But it says you dwelling in your sizzled houses, yet this house lay waste, because you're not building up Israel into the standard that the Lord has required. Okay, you've been building up Israel with silly putty, with that silly putty, that play putty. You know how, like, when you building bricks and you got real putty and brick and mortar, and it causes the brick to, you know, the putty, it expand upon heat, and then, you know, anybody that understands carpentry and building, you understand when you build a structure, it have to be to a certain measurement, right? But these niggas slapping silly putty on shit, and it's breaking our people down, man. Because out of the whole pagan shit that came out, you still got niggas in Israel that's still justifying this fucking dude, man. You know, and all you niggas are wicked. Everybody that left out of Sakari, all the leadership, and everybody that within that spot, all you niggas, all the heads of that group is wicked. Ain't none of them niggas right. Half that congregation, I say 95, 96% of them niggas in those congregations, they all are fucking wicked. And I'm willing to bet my best dollar on that. But anyway, lesson for another time. But it says, in this house lie waste. Now therefore, thus says the Lord of hosts, consider your ways. It says, ye have sown much and bring in little. Absolutely. Like the dude was saying, how the hell are you paying $100 for 2 bags of groceries, man? Like, I just don't get it. Eggs, $20 a carton. And then they're talking about another 40% increase on eggs by the end of the year. Some of the most accessible and cheapest protein you can get is a fucking egg, and they want to overcharge you for the shit. You know, even when you go into like these farms and stuff, they're charging you $5 a carton. Why are you charging $5 a carton when you can get a chicken literally for fucking $10? You can bite the call. Chickens are not expensive, man. You can get a hen for $20, man. You can get them relatively cheap. You know, you get a hen with chicken, or you get a rooster, which the hen, the female chicken, the rooster, the male, you know, the later get the chicks, and then bam, they lay their eggs. That's not a huge investment, but you're still selling eggs at $5 a carton. You sell them motherfuckers $2.50 at least, you know what I'm saying? The stores are selling them for fucking $20 a carton. But how in the hell is that even, why is that even a thing here? And why aren't you people up in arms about this shit yet? Why are you still out here going to these jobs, paying your taxes, all this other bullshit? It's just like the brainwashing and the stupidity of the American people. I see why you're the lowest IQ people on the planet Earth, man. You Americans are fucking stupid. All right, you're dumb, you're stupid, you're remedial, you have no sense, you're uneducated, you're deprived of any type of acumen. You just stupid as all hell, and I see why the Most High got to burn you fucking people up. And I don't feel no type of way about it. The average American is stupid as hell. You fat, you out of shape, you full of poison, you put shit in you that they experiment on. You people need you need destruction. And we gotta suffer because you people ain't doing shit. You know? But somebody's like, why don't y'all do something about it? No, we can't do anything about it because, like I quoted in the last video, this is not our world. This is not our fight. We're just set up to prophesy and teach. That's it. Okay? We got to bear the burden just like the rest of these stupid idiots here. But if say ye have sown much and bring in little, it says ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe, but there is none to warm. And he that earneth wages to put into a bag with holes. And that's when you get that paycheck. And the crazy part about it is, your paycheck, everybody gets a cut of it before you do. You the one that's working for the money, but yet you get your check, and everybody that took the taxes out, and they didn't already tax you 4 or 5 times, and you still got to pay tax. And then if you don't file or you underpay tax, then you owe, which you got to pay another tax. And then, Lord forbid, you owe child support. They're taking that shit from you. Everybody gets their fucking money before you even get it. And you niggas ain't mad. This is oppression, man. It's like, damn, why am I even working for it? But there will come a time that people, you know, when shit hit the fan, all this tension that's building up, because people are feeling it, and people, they're about ready. They've had enough. They're tired of it, and they're seeing that this dude, Donald Trump, is not the answer. So eventually, these people are getting ready to go over edge. They're just waiting on the right event. which, you know, hey, that can be any day now. But I typed in oppress the poor, and it starts Proverbs 22 and 22. It says, rob not the poor because he is poor, neither oppress the afflicted in the gate. And Esau, he robs the poor to keep the rich rich. Like he borrows money from the poor that they don't have, and then he keeps himself rich. That's how they deal with their wealth. You know, like let's just say if you have a bad credit score, they will hang you on the line of drive with a higher interest rate, knowing you can't pay. So you have an even greater chance of defaulting on that. So therefore, they stick you with a bill, which he loses in the process because Jake ain't finna pay no fucking bill that he can't afford. He gonna let that shit go to collections and let it be on his credit score. He don't care. So Esau, your stupid ass is losing money too. But what he would do, he would take the product and sell it back to another motherfucker, man. Like in China, you have like a certain tax. Like let's just say if you have a tax, let's say if you bought a home in China and you may owe one-time tax payment of 5 bands. You pay that shit off, you done with it. It's your shit. Okay, but in this fucking society, here, my father could live in a house, right? And then all of a sudden he decides to move. He's paid his mortgage off. He sold a crib. Then the next asshole that gets in the house, he gets charged even more. Then he has to pay the fucking taxes on the property. Wait a minute, the taxes already been charged on the property, man. So wait a minute, are you taxing the property or are you taxing the individual? Because if I pay taxes on my property and they're reoccurring taxes, bro, they never end. Every year there's a tax bill. When is the fucking cutoff, man? Why am I paying taxes on them? If I had a vehicle for 20 years and I've paid that vehicle off maybe 15 years ago, why am I still paying taxes on a vehicle I've already paid off? Why am I still paying taxes on that shit? And why aren't you people fucking mad about this, man? Here you driving around in a 2010 fucking Kia Sorento or whatever. You didn't pay probably $15,000 when it came out and extra probably $3,000 in taxes. You pay that shit off. Why are you still paying property taxes and you supposed to own a car? You see how corrupt this shit is, man? And you see why this place has to be burnt. This place has to fucking burn, man. And it says, press neither oppress the afflicted in the gate. Amos 4:1. It says, hear the word, O ye king of Bashan, that are in the mount of Samaria. It says, which oppress the poor, which crush the needy, which say to their masters, bring and let us drink. That's what Esau was doing, man. Zechariah 7:10. It says, and oppress not the widow, nor the fatherless, the stranger, nor the poor, and let none of you imagine evil against his brother in your heart. Straightforward. James 2:6. It says, but ye have despised the poor. Do not rich men oppress you and draw you before the judgment seats? Yep. Oppress you. You behind on your child support, you get another fucking court date. Oh, well, you owe this, you owe that. What proof do I owe anything? What proof of service do what? And then when you try to go constitution around on their ass, they become the deaf adder. They don't want to hear. They try to overtalk you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you people gotta fucking be destroyed, man. And with that, all praises and glory and honor that's due to you. How about Shimi, how shy? Lord's will you edify to the next lesson. A barber ball, man. Shalak Rayim al Mawaf wa ball, man.